And welcome back to The Drive with Jackson and McCoy on this Thursday afternoon. And tomorrow night, if you are into hoops and you are into the TBT, which I am, 9 o'clock tomorrow night, the Scarlet and Gray, the team of Ohio State alums coached by Scoonie Penn, going to be taking on primetime players. They are at the Super 16 of the TBT, trying to get to, I guess they would call it the Elite Eight. But getting in closer and closer to the Final Four, and Scoonie Penn joins us right now as they get set to head to Atlanta. Scoonie, before we get to this, and I know you're totally focused on this game tomorrow, but how great was last weekend in Columbus? That was the environment for your games. How much did that help you guys?
It helped, but more than anything, it was like a celebration. The guys absolutely loved it because when you graduate, like, you never think you can get a chance to play in front of Ohio State fans like that again with guys that you played with. And for our guys, it was an awesome experience. One they raved about, continued to talk about, and it was just good to see the way we had support here, all last weekend.
And I know you talked about it in the moment, but the Thad Matta appearance was also pretty cool, and that was. I think that was great for Thad, don't you? I mean, just to see how much the crowd still appreciates him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was huge for Thad. Great for the fans to see him come back, someone who's done so much for this program, took the program to new heights. Just to see him there was a really great moment. I'm so happy the way people stood up and clapped for him. Well deserved. And yeah, it was just that was like the icing on the cake. Everything was great about the day. The way we were playing, the crowd, the atmosphere, and then having Thad Matta show up was just icing on the cake.
I know you're on with Bruce on Monday, but no changes. I assume Jared's good to go and everything this weekend?
Well, he is good to go on Sunday, maybe. Well, the way we're looking at it now is he's not going to play at all.
Okay.
So things have changed, so we're going to have to work a little bit, without his presence. So we'll have to make some adjustments. We do. He's a big part of what we do. And not having him changes things, but
do you still have B.J. Mullins, and is Greg available? And how does that affect your situation inside?
I mean, it does. We just have to switch up a little bit of things. Greg is available. B.J. is not. B.J. will not be playing with us anymore. But we feel confident with what we have. We can go different lineups. We can play small ball if need be. So again, I think we made some adjustments. We'll make more adjustments, and we'll just have to see how this thing goes.
Visiting with Scoonie Penn, coach of Scarlet and Gray. This team that you're playing next, and I watched them because I was doing PA, the primetime player team. Man, you better guard the three. Holy smokes. They had a guy, Terrell Smith, that just went off in the game against Big X and kind of carried them to victory. So obviously I would think defense on the perimeter is a key in this game tomorrow night that's on ESPN.
It definitely is. You got to guard the three ball. I had a chance to watch them as well and watch some film on those guys. So we'll definitely be focused on their three ball because we know that's how they stay in the game and that's how they get their lead. So definitely game planning for that.
Tell me a little bit about what your preparations have been this week. Obviously now with the Jared news and everything. I mean, that's a huge adjustment because he's such a big part of your offense. But you've got a lot of depth, Scoonie. I mean, there's different ways that you can attack. So as a coach, how have you drawn this up this week? I suppose we'll see this weekend, but I imagine you still feel confident that you got the horses here.
I do feel confident still. We drew it up a little different. Like I said, we might have to play some small ball. We're going to have some different kind of lineups, and we're going to have to find other ways to score. Use our speed, our good shooting, maybe spread teams out a little bit more. We don't have that horse to throw it inside to pound it to. But, I think we'll be fine. We have the horses to do it. You have to make adjustments. You always do. To be successful and win, you got to make adjustments, and that's what we're facing here.
What was the reaction that you have gotten from people about the Elam ending? Because I can tell you from my perspective and talking to fans, it was mostly positive. Like they had never seen that before, and it's really cool putting a target score on the ball on the board, especially like the way you won Sunday on a walk-off dunk. You just don't see that very often. What kind of reaction, feedback, and also the guys experiencing this? Do they like it?
It's a mixed bag. I think more after this weekend, more people like it. They like the ending. It's exciting. You win on a made basket. I'm still in the middle of it. I think it's pretty good. It definitely benefits you if you're up. But we've seen with a lot of teams here, like the team we play on Friday, they were down 10 at that point. They still end up winning.
Yep.
So it adds an extra element, different excitement to it. You got to strategize a little different. But for the most part, our guys are okay with it. They have no problem at all.
There was an article in Yahoo today, Scoonie. I don't know if you saw it, where they went and they talked to Kiki Vanderway, who's the NBA's executive vice president on basketball operations. And his quote is really interesting. He said, "We believe that our game is in a great place, but having said that, we're charged with always being aware of what's going on in our sports, and we watched some of that action. Overall, right now, for a variety of reasons, it's a little too radical for us to try, but we are definitely tracking those games and seeing how it's used." And there's also some competition committee members from the NCAA. The comment from Tad Boyle, who's the head coach at Colorado, said the concept is interesting. I was a little skeptical at first, but after watching it, it definitely puts a premium on getting stops and making shots. I liked it as a fan much more than I thought I would. So it certainly is catching the attention of the basketball world.
It has. And I think, again, the NBA is a great product, and those guys are smart. They were definitely going to take a look at this. They'll be fools not to. Will it change the NBA? Don't know, but it's exciting. I think it's good for the fans, and that's the key. You want to draw more people into the game, and if this is a way to do it, then so be it.
Let me ask you, coaching-wise, strategy-wise, and in specifically this team you're about to play, they played Big X, and at the 4-minute mark, the game is tied. How do you handle that? I mean, should you – and Big X ended up, after a couple of possessions, calling timeout with a tie game. I was trying to figure out, is it better to try to score and so because you want to have the lead, or to just call a timeout there because you have to score anyway, and you get an extra possession? How would you handle that, Scoonie?
Timeout right away, so we can have the extra possession. And if we're first on the board, that's closer to 7. We hit a 3 like we did the other day when I called the timeout. We only needed 4 more points to win the game.
Yep.
So it does make a difference. You have to strategize for it. You just hope that you're not in a position where it's tied. We'd like it to where we're up, a good amount of points to where, we can kind of stroll into it. But I think it's interesting the fact that tie game, it becomes a 7-point game. Who can get the 7 first? If you grew up playing in the playground, playing open gym, this is what you have to do. And that's the kind of mentality you have to have. You have to have gamers that can go get you 7 points and make stops at the end.
All right, Scoonie, before I let you go, just your keys this weekend to come out of this weekend and heading to the Final Four. What do you guys have to do?
It's going to be our defense like it was the other day. We're going to have to hang our hats on our D. Our perimeter D, get up, pressure guys, turn teams over, and get out and make easy baskets. Especially with Jared not playing, we're going to have to cause a little havoc, and we'll have to be able to score in the open court and not so much half court with losing a horse like Jared.
Well, Scoonie, that was fun last week, and it'll be fun this weekend to watch you. I know everybody around here is rooting for you. Good luck. Safe travels, and we'll talk to you soon, okay, bud?
All right, thanks, Matt. Take care.
That is Scarlet and Gray coach Scoonie Penn. Interesting note, no Jared Sullinger this weekend. Having watched all those teams, I can tell you, I think they'll be fine against this primetime player team, but if they have to play Team Fredette to get to the Final Four, that will be interesting because they got some bigs that are pretty good. So it's obviously a big blow, but the good news is the Scarlet and Gray team has a lot of depth.